Go ahead.
Sir, at BIMTech, we are a part of uniquely designed management program in international business. Where do you think the appreciation lies in the industry, especially in Indian corporate?
Good morning, Vaidehi, and first of all, I'm thankful to Vimtech for inviting me, and I have been associated with Vimtech for the last many years. I've been involved, I've been advising, contributing, interacting with the students, so it's a very pleasant engagement for me. So Vimtech program on international business is, in my view, it's very well appreciated. I see a lot of Vimtech alumni who are in different industry, different sectors, they are contributing. But one thing which I would like to, since I am part of your advisory board also, the academic advisory board. So international business is, this area is very dynamic in the sense that it's evolving.
Yeah.
And the canvas of international business is expanding. It's no more only about export and import and FDI. So whether it's we talk about sustainability, whether it's talk about energy, whether it's talk about information technology and all which we are discussing under information technology and services sector. So all those are part of international business. And of course, these days, students, in fact, from the school days on, they are very well exposed to social media, they're very well exposed to information technology. So there's a great opportunity for Vimtech to further incorporate those developments, those kind of dynamism in the course curriculum and move ahead in terms of giving more opportunity to students. And as I said that because I know that many BIMTech students are already in the many big industry and they are doing great job, they are contributing to their businesses, but of course it's evolving, it's a dynamic area, so that students also have to keep in mind that they have to update and of course keep themselves updated on what is happening internationally.
Yes. So the second question would be, in terms of free trade agreement, we often expect corporate skepticism. How do you think you can counter this in management, education, and industry?
Look, FTA, you have to understand, has been going on for last, at least in case of India, our engagement goes back to since 2003, I would say 1999, when we first entered into free trade agreement with Sri Lanka. But leaving that aside, I think in real sense, we got into this business since 2003, when we started our negotiation with ASEAN. So what we have to understand, this has become an integrated part of your foreign policy, because no more the foreign policy is only about political diplomacy. It's economic diplomacy, it's trade diplomacy, it's climate diplomacy. So all those elements are getting integrated into the foreign policy component. Because these days you see that globally also, there has been a proliferation of free trade agreements. There are countries like Vietnam, Korea, Japan, and although they have successfully leveraged their free trade agreements to promote their businesses, to expand their export, to attract more investment. So I don't think there is a choice, because government will move ahead with this. But of course, as you talked about, asked me about the industry skepticism. So that we have to keep in mind, because for Indian industry, so if you look at our trading partners, who are our trading partners, who are investment partners, it's Europe, it's America. They are not only our major trading partner, they are also major source of investment. Of course, of late we have expanded our footprint and deepened our relationship with Japan, with Korea and all, but still. And of course, China is, and of course, we have a huge trade deficit with China, but of course, China is a large economy. That also we have to keep in mind. So we also must try to see how we can export more to China. So, and since FTA has also evolved, so initially when we started, that was more with the East Asian countries, whether it's Japan, Korea, ASEAN, and that was more part of our locus strategy. But now we have realized that we have to look for those countries where our own industry and companies are comfortable in terms of whichever market, where we find more complementarities. Of course, it's Europe and America. So that's why if you see the current FTA strategy, so we have prioritized European Union, we have prioritized UK, we are negotiating with Canada, we are negotiating with, we have of course concluded our negotiation with Australia, we have operationalized our agreement UAE. So that is giving a little more comfort to industry, because the government is now more looking at those countries which are our market, where we find more complementarities, and not with those countries with whom we are competing. Because if you look at the ASEAN countries, so ASEAN is a very competitive market where you compete with the three manufacturing giants, Japan, Korea, and China. So in terms of manufacturing, though, of course, we are on the course of reviving our manufacturing, and we have, of course, over the last 9 years, we have strengthened our manufacturing. Our manufacturing is doing well, and after post-COVID, we are the fastest growing economies. But still, we have to cover a lot of ground. So, but on the one hand, we are giving a lot of focus to revive our manufacturing. On the other hand, the government of India is also trying to negotiate and conclude agreement with those countries who are our real markets, particularly for all export-oriented sectors, whether it's textile, gems and jewelry, leather and leather products, IT and services and all. So in that way, of course, industries find a little more comfort. Earlier, of course, when we were negotiating with Japan, Korea, and ASEAN industry had a lot of concerns because we are not ready to compete with those countries. But now, industry is finding at least more comfort. Industry is engaged. Industry is giving a lot of inputs to government also. So in that way, so we are finding more comfort. Industry is also more sensitized. Capacity building of industry has enhanced.
Yes, sir.
So in that way, it's good so far.
Okay, sir. So this would be my last question. You have been part of the advisory council of BIMTech for PGDM International Business. So how do you think international business, our program, has evolved so far?
Yeah, so I would again repeat what I said initially. Of course, have been part of advisory board, and as a team we have been contributing, we have been advising the faculty here and department here, and I'm glad that they have incorporated also many of our recommendations. But as I said, international business is a dynamic area, because it's no more only about export and import and foreign direct investment.
Yes, sir.
And if you look at for instance, the G20 summit is happening. If you look at what all issues we are negotiating and discussing in G20, so everything. So it's a trade, it's an investment, it's a financial inclusion, meeting the sustainable development goals, the debt vulnerabilities of poor countries, the digital economy, how to make global value chain inclusive. So the canvas of international business is expanding. It's
Yes.
very open-ended. So every day we are seeing new areas coming. Now this day we are talking about energy diplomacy, because the entire world is trying to trying to transit to the new energy space, which includes solar, which includes wind energy, which includes electrical vehicles. So all those are extremely important for the international businesses, because those are linked to international economic relations, international geopolitics, and that of course students must be sensitized, must be informed, and it's not only the job of the institute or faculty members to help you with that, but at the same time, because this is a age of information, this is age of social media, information technology, so most of these informations are available on the social media or in the public domain. So also you have to, because I'm sure the students are very well exposed to that, but only you have to see that you have to follow that, you have to just try to put your thinking hat
Yes,
and see how it can be useful for your own career, and how you can help your own industry. If you are working in the area with an energy company, then of course you can bring that element. If you are working in automobile company, then of course you have to just follow what is happening on the electrical vehicles, critical minerals part. So lot of informations. This is of course it's interesting, it's challenging, because you have to follow, you have to imbibe, you have to digest those information and try to see how it can be useful for your companies.
Thank you, sir, for answering our questions.
Thanks, it's pleasure